Hello, I'm Karen Thames from the Business Network in Central and East Lancashire, and it's my pleasure to be sponsor of Business Bites for business leaders in conjunction with Lisa Edge of Lancashire and GBTV. Today, it's my great pleasure to be chatting with Wayne. Oh, Wayne. I was just going to say Wayne Action. Oh, okay. So today we're chatting with longtime member and lovely friend Wayne Evanson from the Action House. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you too. So tell me about the Action House.
The Action House is a video production company which is based loosely around myself and any other freelancers that we need to bring in for any particular larger jobs. And we shoot, I will say this at the table meetings, we all shoot anything except weddings. And we shoot corporate stuff, business to business. So that could be events, that could be corporate work, that's advertising, marketing, product launches, all sorts of things like that. And we always say that, you know, if your company has a message they want to get out there, that the best way to do it these days is to use video, because people just want to see people on screen and get the information fed to them in nice pictures, nice music, nice words. They don't want to sit and look at websites and sort of stock photographs of American people sat in offices and read a load of text that's on the homepage of a website. They'd rather see who the company is, see who the managing director is, or the CEO, or the head of that department, and find out from those videos what that company is about, what the flavor of the people are about, you know, what the whole game is about. And it breaks down the barriers to communication. If you feel like you've seen somebody from that company, you feel like you know them a little bit, it breaks down the barrier. You pick up the phone and say, I know who I'm talking to because I've just seen your video. And so the Action House is basically a loose conglomeration of people who go together to do different kinds of videos, and it's all based around myself as a freelancer.
Fantastic. You're absolutely right. It makes it much warmer to ring somebody you don't actually know, having seen them. So yeah, I completely understand that.
Because in this day and age, if you've got a lead, somebody looking for your goods and services, if they come to your website and it's just pictures and text, it's like, so what? There's a Google list of 10 or 20 of those people. But if you're on the homepage going, hi, this is us. Hello, come in, welcome. We're all right. We're not going to bite your head off. We know what we're talking about. We're friendly. We're helpful. You know, it really draws people in.
Fantastic. So what training did you undertake to get to where you are today?
Well, the reason this started about 2008, 2009, is that when I left, I went to college to do graphic design for 4 years, and then I moved to live in London for a while. And I've always been sort of either working in an agency or working freelance as a graphic designer. And that is everything from exhibition panels to packaging to magazine design to stationery, logos, the whole 9 yards, really. Anything to do with graphic design. I even did a whole long stint doing greeting cards and wrapping paper and all that kind of craft design work. And I did that for about 30 years. And eventually I was doing, during this time, I was doing a lot of amateur theatre. I've always been a musician, so I've been in bands and things. And I was working, doing theatre, and I was getting interested in cameras. I've always been interested in movies, Hollywood movies and so on. And I was working with a group called Preston Movie Makers, which is an amateur filmmaking group and photography group and stuff. And I'm playing with these cameras, and we're doing little films and things. And I'm thinking, well, actually, YouTube is so huge now. Why don't I take my skills as a designer, which is like talking to a potential client, saying, what's your business about? What's your message about? Et cetera, et cetera. How can we make that look good? How can we make you look engaging and draw people in and give you new connections and new clients and stuff? And those skills that you use, that I've just mentioned, that you use as a designer, you can also use as a videographer, because it's just the same messages, it's just the same process. The only difference is the end result is a moving, living, breathing, dynamic piece of work that attracts people. And it gets to like 30 years of doing this kind of graphic design thing where you just feel like you're just moving text about and changing typefaces and moving pictures about and making it look pretty. And then you're on to the next job and you just think this over and over again. Whereas with video, you have a start point and you have an end point, and in the middle of that, you can have some dynamics and so on and so forth. So, for instance, working with a guy who had a paper mill and he had a massive warehouse, and he said, well, how can I make this look great? You know, I've been coming here 40 years, it's a tip. I said, but if we light it and we fly a drone through it and the music swells at that point, and all of a sudden he's got a tear in his eye going, God, don't we look good? And it's that kind of energy that you can lift people and move people. And if you can move people, then the call to action at the end of the video has that much more power. It can really draw people into you. So going from that graphic design thing, which was very dry, and using my skills in as a director, for instance, in theatre, and as a musician, and as an audio recordist, I can bring all those features together to create videos. So that's why we are where we are at this moment in time.
I mean, technology is evolving all the time, and you already are using drone. I mean, it's very difficult to say what else is out there, but what do you think is going to be the next up and coming technology for video production?
Well, it's very difficult to say because it gets to the stage in where clients don't actually care. They don't come to me and say, I wonder if you've got an £80,000 red camera. And I'll say, no, my cameras are about £6,000-7,000 each, and the lenses are £5,000. And that is going to be more than you need, sir. And it's that kind of situation. People try to push 3D films in Hollywood. Again, they keep having a go at that. That's never really worked. They keep upping the megapixel count in cameras. That really, you know, I've just bought a camera that just arrived on Friday, which is a 6K camera. Who needs 6K? Everything goes out in 720, which is what's known as HD. Not even full HD. It's just HD, which is a trade-off between picture size and file size, so that people can download it and see it. Yeah. But the picture size and the quality is great. What do we need 6K for? I don't know, but I've got one, and we'll see if it gets used. The other piece of kit that I've just bought during lockdown is for some work that's coming up, where I'm going to be shooting 4 people facing each other in a crossways like this, 4 chairs, and we will have 4 cameras, one on each person, and they will all be fed to a recording device. So what I can do is I can mix and match the shots as I like, and as they're in discussion about the subject that they're talking about, I can pre-edit it as we go along. So there are always things in my game that cost me money that I have to keep abreast of. And, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, but I watch YouTube all the time to see what the latest cameras are like, see what the latest editing suites are doing, color correction, all these kind of things. And with a lot of businesses, you do have to keep abreast of what's going on in your industry. In my case, it happens to be a lot of technical stuff, a lot of really expensive technical stuff. So I couldn't tell you what the next big thing is, but 6 and 8K cameras are coming in. The camera that I've just got that I mentioned earlier is the only one in this sort of price range that is Netflix approved. So wow. I could shoot stuff for Netflix on that thing. So we'll see. So
from Preston movie makers to Netflix.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Made here in Lancashire. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So when you're not being truly amazing with the Action House, how do you like to spend your downtime?
A lot of things I'm interested in. I read a lot about particle physics and quantum theory, which I don't understand any of it. I watch a lot of...
Well, yeah, you had me.
Fascinating. I'm fascinated in astronomy. I'm fascinated in cars and mechanicking, but I'm rubbish at that. There's all sorts of things that I'm interested in. But in terms of creativity, if I wasn't doing this for a living, I'd be still doing it with Preston Movie Makers as a filmmaker. So, for instance, I'm a member of Blackburn Drama Club, and although they can't put shows on at the moment, what they've done is they've said, let's write. We've got some talent in the group. Let's write some short talking heads type things. They're calling it talking faces. So I've written 2 pieces for that, which we're about to film in the next week and a half or so. So writing, again, is something that I love doing. So to be able to write something, get one of my friends who's a theatre actor to perform it, and for me to use my Action House skills to film it and come up with something hopefully as good as the Alan Bennett series that's just been on.
That's fantastic. How will people be able to access that?
Well, that'll go on through the Blackburn Drama Club website and also through their Facebook group. Yes.
Brilliant, brilliant.
They're just an amateur theatre group, one of many in this area, but it's a group that I've worked with on and off for years, either on stage as an actor, backstage doing the sound or the lighting or the music or directing. It's a fascinating group to work with, and there's some very talented people in there.
I'm impressed. I've heard you say in your table presentations when I've been seated with you over the years that you shoot everything except weddings. What do you have against weddings?
Well, the thing is, from what I've seen of wedding videos, they all look the same to me. You know, they start off, they've got some plinky plonky music. You've got the bride's dress hanging, on a coat hanger just in front of the window. They're doing the makeup and the hair, and the girls are smiling, and then it cuts to the guys in the other room somewhere, and they're messing about doing what blokes do. Then there's a service, then there's a party, and you just think, oh, dear Lord. One thing I love about the Action House is that because I've got a lot of experience in the industry, marketing and design and advertising industry, is that I can work with agencies. And I don't need to ask silly questions. When they say, look, this is what we've been working on, this is what it looks like, make sure your video follows these styles, fine, no problem. The other side of things is I can work with new clients, and I can hold their hand and lead them through the process, get them excited about what we're doing. And you can see them getting switched on to the idea of using video more and more within their businesses. And for me, to have the difference between agency clients, which typically are much bigger than the ones I would have access to as a freelancer.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we've been to Madrid, we've been to Copenhagen, we've been to Mexico. We've done all these filming things abroad through agencies that have those larger clients. And for me, that's absolutely thrilling and exciting and fascinating. And then on the other side of things, I have smaller private clients, SMEs and so on, that I can use my imagination to bring their business to life and make them look bigger than they are, make them more engaging, in a digital platform, more engaging, and so on and so forth. So the difference in the work and the difference in businesses is just fascinating. So to do weddings week after week after week, and I would just think, I know it's easy money. It's easy money. Bish, bash, bosh, there's your day, and you edit it during the week, and you charge, I don't know how much they charge, but what's the point? Honestly, please. Some people love it, and I just wouldn't.
I think that is the best answer ever. And Wayne, I will not be asking you that again.
CEOs of multinational companies are the nicest people you could ever meet. The mother of the bride is a whole different scary position that I don't want to get into.
Bridezillas.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh dearie me, I'm sure. You've been in the business for 30 years. You've built up such a wealth of knowledge and skills and tips, not only in your creative field, but also in running a business. So for anybody who is starting a business in this particular time, what's one thing that you would offer in terms of advice?
The thing is, it feels like it's changing at the grassroots level, at the beginners level, if you like. You get young guys and gals coming out of UCLan, for instance, and they buy a camera that's maybe £1,000, or they have one of those GoFundMe. I can't afford my own camera. Can you pay for it? And they get a camera and they say, "All right, I'm a director of photography, a DOP," and off they go. And while on one hand, I think I really applaud that. I don't think I could have done that 30 years ago when I left college. I couldn't have just launched in and started my own business. I felt like I had to get a job somewhere. And it's for my generation, you have to do your apprenticeship, you have to earn your dues, pay your dues. And learn from the bottom. These young people, they don't seem to care. They just think, right, I'm a DP now, I'm going to go and do it. And that's fine, but a lot of them just end up doing cheap music videos for their mates that all, like wedding videos, all look the same. You know, if it's a rock band, it's in a disused warehouse, and if it's a rap video, it's just one guy and a couple of girls in a fancy car, and they're waving money about, and you just think, what's the point of that? You know, the experience that I have over the last 30 years has led me into what I'm doing. So I can say to a client, I can offer you more than somebody who's coming out of university with a cheap camera and a lot of enthusiasm, but they've no experience. And because I've done all the theatre and I've done all the advertising, I know what works. And when somebody comes to me and says, I want to say this, and you look at the script and you say, well, like, we need to take that out, that out, and that out. We need to put more positives in here and here and here. And I wouldn't know that unless I'd spent years doing copywriting for advertising.
Yeah.
So my advice is, yes, I love the enthusiasm. Get a camera, get out, shoot something, but learn your trade as well, because later on, that will get you the bigger clients. That will get you taken more seriously, rather than just somebody who's got a camera and can take decent shots.
And that is sage advice for whatever field you're starting your business from, isn't it? Yeah, the enthusiasm is great, but you've got to back it up with some experience and learn from us oldies, as golden oldies.
It is. It does feel a bit grumpy old man kind of thing, but it really is. If you want to make a success of your business, you have to have as many strings to your bow as possible. You can't just say, you know, I'm young, energetic, enthusiastic, and I've got a decent camera. Because a big company is just going to say, get out, not interested.
Yeah.
And I've had people who've come to me and say, well, you're a freelancer, we'd rather go with a Manchester agency. And I'm thinking, well, okay, but they're just going to give this job to the office junior, so you'll get what you get, but you'll pay twice or three times as much for it. So, you know, there are different horses for courses, and some people just like the Manchester agency vibe.
Yeah.
Other people like myself who've got the experience but don't have the overheads of a Manchester agency. And then there are other people who just say, well, let's just get this young lad in and see what he comes up with.
Yeah. And then they'll come back to you afterwards.
This is what we hope, yes.
Sorry, that was a big assumption that you weren't the young lad you were talking about.
I am not the young lad we are talking of, unfortunately. More.
So 30 years in this fascinating, creative world of yours, what keeps you going?
Well, when you're a creative person, when you're into the arts and things, as I've been, because I've been a musician and an actor and a writer and now a videographer and photographer and so on, it is the kind of thing that you can't stop. It's the kind of thing that if I wasn't getting paid for being the Action House, I would be still with Preston Movie Makers making films. And I've just rejoined the Blackburn Drama Club after a little break, and I'm thinking I can't wait to get back on stage. And I sing with a big band. I did that for about 12 years and then had another break. And then I went back again in November and January and did a couple of gigs with them. And I thought, why have I stopped doing this? This is just hilarious. And you've got to keep on doing it. And to me, in a way, what I do is more important than what I get paid to do, if you see what I mean. So if somebody says to me, oh, can you do it for £1,000 instead of 1,400 or whatever? I'll say, oh, it's a good job. Let's do that, you know. But I'd rather get paid to do it than not get paid to do it, obviously. Yeah, but I would still be doing it anyway. I mean, our holiday videos, I'm not in any of them because I'm always behind the camera. We have lovely holiday videos because I can't stop doing, even when I'm on holiday, what I enjoy doing. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Follow your heart.
Absolutely. It's very important. Otherwise, you wouldn't be happy.
No, not at all. Wayne, how will people find you?
www.theactionhouse.com. That's our website. I also have a Vimeo page, which you can find under Wayne Avanson. And that's where I use Vimeo actually a lot, rather than YouTube. I use Vimeo a lot to put clients' videos on so that they can see it for the first time, you know, password protected or whatever. And so they can see it and approve it and amend it and so on and so forth. But there are quite a lot of things on there. So if you look for Wayne Avanson under Vimeo, you'll find my page there with some stuff.
Fantastic.
Or my email is wayne.avanson@zen.co.uk.
Brilliant. So wayne.avanson@zen.co.uk, it has been an absolute pleasure to share this time with you today. As always, when I'm having a chat with you, I have a smile across my
Have a laugh,
face.
don't we? We always
Yeah, we do. We do have a good laugh. Wayne, thank you so much. And here's to the next 30 years.
Thank you, Karen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.